Hey everyone, it's Yasir back with another video. Good to see you today. I'm going to be answering a question that I got on my email, on my LinkedIn, and I've heard a lot of renditions of this question, so I just want to take the time to really answer this. And it's, Yasir, I've been looking for a job for quite a while. The more I look, the more depressed I get. How should I approach this situation? I feel like there are so many job seekers in the market right now that you look at the situation and you're applying, you're trying your best, but you're not getting the kind of results you get. And that's going to be demotivating. You're going to feel worse, and I can understand that. I can understand that because even before COVID, when I graduated, when the economy was fine, when you actually had a lot of jobs, I still couldn't find a job, right? And if you don't know my story already, I've got a degree in business from Malaysia. I came to Canada and I continued my studies. I did my master's degree. So I had around $60,000 worth of education in my pocket. And when I graduated, I couldn't find a job. Not only could I not find a job, but the first job that I found was as a receptionist at a hair salon. That's what I was doing with a master's degree focused in counseling. So you can imagine I know a thing or two about your job searching struggles because when you are qualified, especially that qualified, or maybe you're coming with years of industry experience and you can find a job, and it's been a few months and you're not making any traction, you're not getting any sort of results, it can really wear down on your self-esteem. And I felt it. Clients I work with, they felt it. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about what you can do in the situation. Of course, everyone's situation is going to be different, but I feel like if I give you some perspective, maybe that'll give you something to think about, right? Now, a lot of the clients that I work with, they go through quite a long process to discover that they're stuck. So for example, I was talking to one of my clients and she was saying that she hasn't had a single job interview in 18 months. In 18 months, not one single job interview, right? So you imagine every single time this person would submit a resume or submit an application, the thought process that goes behind submitting that application is like, well, what's the point of applying? I know I'm not going to get a response anyway. So when you start doing that, when you start going into it with this almost negative, pessimistic approach, and you almost expect your application to get rejected, it's going to get rejected, right? Because you're taking that same mindset, you're taking that same attitude into your application process, and you're not going to try harder because every time you try, it doesn't really go anywhere. So mentally, your mind is like, why should we put any effort into this when it just doesn't work? And I get that because if you don't have good reference experience from the past, you're just not going to have more expectations in the future. So a very good thing you need to do early on is really start assessing your results and do this periodically. This is something I do with my clients very, very frequently. It's, okay, this week, what have I tried? How many places have I applied to? How many responses have I gotten? How many interviews have I gotten? How many people or how many decision makers have I spoken to? How many people in companies that I want to work for have I spoken to? How many responses have I got? How many conversations have I got? What is the return on investment of those? So for example, if you are someone who's been looking for a job for the past 6 months, and in the past 6 months of searching, you haven't had one single person or one single employer reply to you, you know there's something wrong with your application process because you can never go that long without getting any sort of results. Even luckily, sometimes people get an interview. So if you're not even getting that, that means there is an issue with your job search. So ideally, you wouldn't want to go 6 months when you first notice. You want to notice this much, much earlier on, which is why you should start reflecting this on a week-by-week numbers and week-by-week basis and give yourself numbers, okay? How many places? How long did it take me to apply? How many people did I reach out to? How long did it take me, okay? Now, the other thing is, a lot of people, they base their morale or they base their progress on things that don't really count. I don't think the number of applications you apply to should be a gauge of progress. So for example, if one person has applied to 5 and another person has applied to 20, Just because the person has applied at 20 places does not mean they have made more progress. Yes, it's higher volume, but what's the time frame? How long did it take them to apply to 20 places? How much time did it take to put into their resume? How much time did it put into reaching out to hiring managers, reaching out to people in the company? That all encompasses the strategy, right? It's not just about this number versus that number. So when you are gauging your result, gauge it by the amount of time and effort you put into something, not the number of applications you've sent out. Because then you're just gonna start spamming your resume everywhere. You're gonna apply to 100 different places, and every single time you apply and you don't get a response, you will feel mentally worse. If you've been a job seeker and you've been looking for a job for a couple of months, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every single time you apply, you almost feel demoralized, you feel demotivated, you feel like you're wasting time, you'll apply and you're not going to hear back. Because let's face it, that's the trend. Especially in this current pandemic situation we have now, there's a very, very large increase in volume. So a lot of people are applying, a lot of people are out of jobs. Everybody is going straight to the job boards. Everyone's applying because that's the only way anyone knows how to find a job, right? Someone wants a job, they'll go to Indeed, they'll go to whatever, they'll start applying. The other problem here is you have a lot of people who graduated from, say, their college, their program, whatever, and they're looking for a job, okay? They're people from the previous semester who might not have found a job. Now, because of COVID, there are less jobs and more people piling up who are looking for jobs. So when you have all of these people, people from your semester, people from other universities who are graduating, immigrants coming from from other countries, previous semesters, semesters after yours, all of those people are now going to be looking for jobs. They're all going to be looking for the same positions you want, and it's going to get a lot more competitive. So when you are job searching, I don't want you to control the basis of your progress, control the basis of your self-esteem and your self-worth when you're applying to jobs based on how many applications you've sent. I would rather you do a return on investment analysis, okay? How many places have I applied to? What kind of result have I gotten? If you've applied to 20, 30 places, not one single response, if you continue applying to places, you're going to get the same response. Instead, what I would recommend is focus on the things that you can actually control. Now, what can you control? Can you control the market? No, you can't. Can you control whether you reach out to someone and they respond to you? No, you can't. Can you control if you apply and they don't respond? No, you can't. You can't control those things. What you can control is you are taking all the action you possibly can. If you are going to go down the resume route, the online application route, you are taking the time to read the job description, making sure it's something you actually can do, you fit 80% of the requirements, you make a very specific resume, and then you apply. And it's going to take less of your time because you're not applying to so many different places and you're getting rejected from so many different places, and that's going to make you feel worse. You're only targeting your search. And then you're going to evaluate, how is this doing? Is this working? Am I getting a response? If yes, continue doing it. If not, I want you to also simultaneously focus on talking to decision makers in your industry. If you're looking for a business development job, I want you to talk to business development people. If you're looking for a marketing job, I want you to talk to marketing people. All you have to do every single week, try to talk to at least 3 decision makers. What is a decision maker? Decision maker is someone who can potentially hire you on their team. If there was an opening on their team, these people would hire you, okay? This is something you can control. You can control the level of outreach. How many people are you reaching out to every single day? If you're reaching out to 20, even if 10 of them, even if 5 of them agree to getting on a phone call with you, you've made 5 new connections. Congratulations. So when you are feeling like you're overwhelmed in your job search, you haven't had a lot of progress, I see this a lot because people are either not assessing their results, they don't really know how to move forward. Maybe they know, okay, I definitely know what I'm doing isn't working. I just don't know what else I could be doing. So every step of the way, every single week, give yourself metrics, track what you're doing, and if something is not working, doing more of it is probably not going to help. So what I would advise, try out the networking piece, try out the job application piece, I think networking right now is probably the most important. In fact, it's always been important. Try doing that. You will find that the more decision makers, the more people you talk to, the more you will learn about the industry, the more you will learn about how many positions are open, the more you will actually get connection with people. You'll feel motivated. You'll learn about the industry. You won't feel like you're wasting time making a resume over and over and over again, applying over and over and over again. And instead, you're actually talking to people who might hire you, okay? I know this is a very difficult time given the whole COVID situation. You have a lot of people competing against you. But listen, the easiest thing to do is going to be to go to these job boards and apply, just like everybody else is doing. Very, very few people go the actual harder route, which is going in, finding hiring managers, building relationships with them, and then having some sort of a referral or a connection come their way. My big takeaway from this, if you are feeling overwhelmed, make a list of the things that you can control in your job search. Make a list of things that you can't control in your job search. I want you to only focus on the things that you can actually control, because if you can't control things like who responds, what the market's like, you're just going to deplete your mental energy, okay? This was my perspective. If you have anything else to leave in the comments for someone else who might be watching this video, please leave that below. I hope genuinely this helped you out, because this is something I felt in my career as well. I know what it feels like to not have a job, the sense of worthlessness and the sense of lack of self-esteem. I totally get where you're coming from, which is why I quit my own job as a recruitment specialist to become a career coach to help more job seekers in the market with their job search. If you are interested in working with me, you can find all of the information about that in the description, along with some other free resources as well. I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.